10 years old. Then I was Brenda Newman. My mom had just taken a position as a teacher in the two-room school. And so one day we took a ride up this long, very long road full of trees. And I thought to myself, where are these people taking me? So we drive into town and we came to this beautiful little village. And the first two things I remember are how beautiful the school was and this store. And this store became pivotal in our lives because eventually Mom and Dad took it over 2 different times.
Wow.
So that's how I started to come to Grand Lake. And you, Sue?
My name is Sue Whiteley, and I came to Grand Lake Stream when I was about 58, I think. Long time ago, it feels like. We had bought a camp out at 4th Machias Lake in 1993, and we rebuilt it. And we used to come there for vacations. And in 2000, the land trust was just started.
That's right, yeah.
And my husband was involved with that. And so we would come and stay at camp. However, it's a primitive camp with no plumbing and no electricity. And we would stay there for a week at a time. And that was quite a long time, at least it felt like it. So we... So one day we were in here visiting some people, and I said, you know, maybe we should have a house in this little town. Yeah. So that started the search for a house, which lasted 2 years, and we bought a piece of property on Tough End, and then the Blash house came up for sale, and we bought that in 2004, and did some renovations, and then we renovated a camp across the street, and then we renovated another camp across the street, and
I'm tired.
And I just love it here. It's a wonderful little town.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is your relationship here in Grand Lake now?
I am a part-time resident of Grand Lake. The more time I get to spend here, the better I like it. There is peace here like I do not find in any other place. And I mean, I've traveled extensively, but my heart's always in Grand Lake Stream. The air is fresher. I sleep better. Grand Lake is where I want to be.
You like the water.
I do love the water. Yes, I do.
And Sue, what are you involved with in Grand Lake?
Oh, what am I
Everything.
involved with? Well, let's see. When we first came here, we were involved in the land trust. My husband was very active in the trust, and I am still on the education committee at the trust. We put a lot of the programs for children and that sort of thing. And then in 2011, many of us were trying to figure out how to be healthier. So we decided to start a little group to either lose weight or try to. And that became the Women to Women group here in town, which I'm part of. And it's a wonderful group. We do all kinds of things. We have had yard sales and that sort of thing, and we've raised money for the benches that you see around town. We've bought televisions for the school. What else have we done?
You have a book club?
There's the book club with the land trust, which has just started last year. And this year they'll be doing 3 books this summer.
Wow.
And let's see, what else am I involved
I've
with?
noticed a lot of trails in this.
Yes.
The land trust has really done a wonderful job building trails, and there are 2 that go out from right here in town, one from the end of Tough End and one over by the parking lot at the dam, and then there are several farther away from town.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, the other thing that the women's group does is put on the luncheon for people who've lost family members or friends. So it's a wonderful tradition, honestly.
It is.
Our group organizes it, but the entire town is asked to make something, and everyone is so generous. And I just think it's one of the nicest things here. It's
Yeah.
real community, and you never, people are just so happy to help, and there are no restaurants really or places to have such a thing right here. So that's one of the things I really, really like doing. And
People are very kind.
Extremely kind, especially
oh
when,
yes,
when the chips are down.
and when the chips are down, that's
Yeah,
right.
That's the difference,
Yeah.
I think, between a small place like this. And when we were growing up, we were like, all I can think of is the bus, Morris. There were 16 of us, and we squawked, and we fought, and we played. But heaven help the person who really got to a Grand Laker, because we became a solid block. But if we could just go back, and I think of Sonny Sprague and Walter Brown and us kids on that bus, I don't know where they came up with the patience that they had. But those bus rides, I think, are probably some of the most memorable times that I ever had. You loved them, you hated them, you were mad, you were never going to speak to this one again, and yet the next day they were your best friend.
Yeah.
So that's the way it was with us, always.
I get kicked off the bus twice. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
One thing that Morris mentioned too is that there's no class difference here.
No.
People can come in with a lot of money. People can come in with hardly any money.
Yeah.
And they're all the same.
Yes.
There's no
Yeah.
class here. You can't tell who the haves or the have-nots
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
are. And I love that.
Yeah.
And people that are here temporarily are treated the same as if you were a native.
Yeah.
I mean, I was definitely not from here, but coming here, I've been welcomed with open arms whenever I'm here.
Yeah.
And I think people are so accommodating and wonderful. They make you feel part of them.
Yeah.
It's
So unique and special.
well, it
That's
is, and I was just going to mention, this is something that's never been, it doesn't get mentioned very often here, but a few years ago, a group of people got together and started a community supper, which takes place every Wednesday night in the summertime, and it's a
Yes.
potluck. You take, everybody's welcome, and you bring your dish and your chair and your utensils and so on, and we go out to various beaches or somebody's camp or whatever. But it's been a wonderful thing to bring together the people who are here only in the summertime.
Yes.
Because
That's nice.
one of the things that I know from having a camp here is you come for a week's vacation and you never come into town and you only get to know the people right beside you.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a wonderful thing.
It is a
And-
wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Because you have so much in common by coming here.
oh,
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
coming here, you
And
have so much in common.
Yeah. And it's, I think people have become more connected even
Yes.
to the town of Grand Lake Stream
I
because
think
they've
so,
gotten
too.
to know people.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sense of community.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh yeah. And
What
we
about-
have new pickleball courts here in
Oh.
town.
Wow.
Everyone's using them.
Yeah.
It's
great.
wonderful.
It
That
is.
they lined the tennis courts. The town did this. That they lined the tennis courts for pickleball. And wow, it's taken off.
Isn't that
Great.
funny? Yeah. I heard a lot of people, I've never played it.
Well,
it's like
I
I'd never
haven't
played
either.
bocce ball either until I went to Florida, and it's like, well, I still can't.
I haven't.
If it's a ball, I can miss it no matter where it is. I was one of the token Grand Lakers on our basketball team. The only reason I played on the basketball team was I was a head taller than everybody else. Could I shoot a basket? Not on your life. But Bonnie and Beth and Brenda and even Elaine, when she was playing for Woodland, these girls, these tiny little girls, had this ability, and they all kept saying the name Mr. Hunnewell, Mr. Hunnewell. Well, this man had worked with these kids, all these kids, boys and girls, which is what I love. He taught them how to play ball. Well, I was just a big lump in the middle of the court. I was tall, I could catch the ball, but I could not play. But I was a Grand Laker, so I was. So that's how I got on the basketball team. That was the only reason. It's like, but those girls could play ball, and I mean, everything we did was always fun. Somebody always had access to a boat. Somebody always had access to snowmobiles.
Yes.
Whether it was going up to the lake and going up to Caribou Rock and jumping off, having picnics. In the winter, we'd go, remember when we used to shovel a cove and then go down to Big Lake and shovel it off and skate and have, fires? I mean, and it was,
Yeah.
nobody was ever excluded. I think that's what I liked about us because we were like a family. We were a very tight-knit little family.
And I bet kids of all ages
Oh,
played
yeah.
together.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there were like I said, the high school age when Morris and I went to school, were I think there were 16 of us. And I mean, like I said, we squabbled, we fought, we played, and I mean, it was the best time ever. I am so grateful that I was able to grow up here, and
Do you
met
still,
my husband here.
when you come back, do you still feel that insulation from the craziness of the world when you're here?
Absolutely, that's why I come.
Yes.
I mean, I love the fact that the pace hasn't picked up here. Even going home, it's like the cars zipping by. It's like, oh my word!
Yeah.
Come back to Grand Lake, and I smile all the way down the airline. I always
get
have.
cleared, yeah.
Yes, I do. I love it here. It's
Yeah,
home.
It is a wonderful little town.
Yep.
However, that said, I think there's a lot that goes on here.
Yeah.
I sat down one day, I think I put it on Facebook, and thought of all the things that kids can do here.
Yes.
My grandchildren love to come here.
Yep.
They've learned to fish here. They've learned to ride their bikes here.
Yeah.
They've gone tubing in the
Yes.
stream.
Ripped your bathing suit on the rocks. Because we rip your bathing suit on the
exactly.
rocks. So yeah, we've done
Yes,
it all.
yes.
But these are the things. This is what you share with those that come after
Oh,
you.
yes.
It's like even my little great grandchildren think Middle Walk is
I
the
love
most
that.
wonderful
Oh, it
place.
is.
And I have brought so many people here, and to a person, they fall right in love
They
with
do.
this place.
Yeah.
My second husband hadn't been here more than maybe 2 or 3 years, and he looked at me one day. He says, "This is serious." He says, "If anything happens to me, can I be buried here?" The man had a camp over on Machias River, and he lived in Harrington all his life. He'd never been here. He fell totally in love with this place. So he is resting with my first husband's son in the cemetery, and I'll join them soon.
Yeah, not too soon.
Not too soon.
Not too soon. No, I
Yeah.
think a lot of people, I have a lot of company, and
Yeah.
everyone who comes, I mean, I've had them say, well, how hard is it to find a house here? Or how,
Yeah.
everybody's just really, it's a great little town.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was going to say about grandchildren is that they here they can walk to the store
Yes,
when they're
that
young.
is huge.
They can walk to the store, get an ice cream, or come and get a sandwich.
Yes. Safely.
And you're not
safely.
in fear for them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell a story about Brenda here at the store. One day, my 2 grandchildren, they probably were 8 or 9, and they had come over for lunch, and they were sitting at the table, and somebody was in there from away, and they looked
Those
at-
people from away.
yes, and they said, "Who are these children, and why are they here by themselves?" And Brenda said, "You don't need to worry about those children. All the guys in Grand Lake Stream are on them.
Yep.
We know exactly who
Yep.
they are."
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's just so wonderful.
It
Yeah.
is.
And we have had so much fun with kids here.
Yeah.
Really.
I
It's
have
it's
too.
a great
That's a very good
great
point.
community.
Yep.
I mean, there's lots to do for adults
Yes.
too.
But
If you
but the
stop
children
and
is
think
the
about
big
it.
one.
My niece and nephew that are here with me now, one is a junior in college and the other one's starting college this fall, and they still want to come to Grand Lake. They've been all over the world with their parents, but Grand Lake, this is Larry's son and daughter.
Yes, yes.
And they couldn't wait. They missed it last summer because they're both
Yeah.
working. So they finagled their schedules so that they could get a few days up here.
Oh,
And they want to
nice.
come back, and I just love it. That's the thing about Grand Lake that's different. Usually when your kids get to be teenagers or grandchildren, their lives deviate from yours and you're
sure.
not as important as you were. But Grand Lake is the glue that holds them together because they always want to come back. They always do.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And this store is a huge part of this community.
Yes,
it really is. I
Yeah.
I'd
mean,
like
the
to
fact,
talk about that
yeah, it's a
because it seems like the hub, the communication hub.
Oh, it is.
It was when
Yeah.
Mom and Dad, we were, what was I, a junior, and I think Shelby was a freshman when Mom and Dad had this store. We spent a whole summer up there. Somebody got the bright idea that we needed sandwiches in the store. Well, I never made so many Italian sandwiches in my life. And it's like we cursed the day that salami was made.
Oh.
It was like, oh no.
So
Because-
your family started the food in the store?
Well, I don't know if Barbara and Kenny did or not. I don't think they did because I remember Mom saying these fishermen are hungry. They're really hungry. And then in the
Yeah.
fall, they needed to eat.
Sure.
So we got to make the sandwiches. And I mean, I cannot believe the amount. That kitchen up there was loaded with vegetables and stuff. Thank goodness.
You mean
they-
upstairs?
Yeah,
Oh,
we made them
really?
upstairs because we lived upstairs.
All right.
And that was
Yeah.
our part of the deal is to make those sandwiches. And I mean, we made a lot of sandwiches, but it was a convenience for the people
Oh,
that came
sure.
there.
Oh,
I don't know what
absolutely.
anyone did. They must have had to bring their own food or just eat junk while they were here.
Yeah.
But we did the sandwiches for that whole summer and into the fall. And it's
Well,
like, well,
particularly for people who weren't staying at any
Right.
of the lodges.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
they wouldn't have had access to
No.
fast food.
No. But I mean, this was like a love-hate relationship
Oh,
with
I
us.
bet.
Of course, as teenagers, we wanted the freedom to come and go. Well, sometimes we had to stay here.
You had the
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah. And it didn't kill us.
No.
Certainly.
No.
And you know, it was
It
good.
taught you a lot.
It taught us a lot. Yeah.
I think you and Jackie found a little freedom.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. All right. No, Morris, that's not a very nice thing to say. Yes, we did. We found all kinds of freedom.